everyone. Well, I might have slightly exaggerated when I met my husband for the first time, and I said, my God, I love outdoor adventure sports. I'm kind of a risk taker, like an Evel Knievel kind of a person myself. We could do it all together. And I neglected to say that I'm actually a very cautious risk taker type of a person, like a high maintenance adventure person. And I like water, like I water skied when I was little in a lake. If there's like no lightning in the forecast, and I've checked it, and oceans are good, but I do not like waves. And I have a fear of sharks. Like people who say I'm not afraid of sharks, does that bug you when people say that? I'm not afraid of sharks. And I think it should be like a psychiatric diagnostic DSM thing. It just bothers me so much. And so anyway, I hike, and I am a cautious hiker. I'll bring my pepper spray and my rattlesnake kit just in case. And so anyway, I neglected to mention these things to him. Well, things got serious, and I was in charge of planning our big Hawaii trip. And I'm with a travel agent, and she says, oh, he sounds like this could be the one. You need to do the 3-for-1 romantic Hawaiian getaway package. And what does it include? It has a helicopter ride, it has zip lining, and it has scuba diving. And I was excited, and then she said, and you know what? The helicopter, it hovers right there by a waterfall in the cliffs, and oftentimes you can spot a rainbow. And I have to tell you, I'm just imagining him popping the question right there. And that was it. And all my fears, they were thrown away. And that's why I found myself in full scuba gear, which is mortifying just putting it on. You put it on over pantyhose to make it more comfortable to put on, and that's weird in and of itself. And I'm standing there with my heart's racing, and it's like wearing Spanx from the ankles up to your neck, constricting like a boa constrictor, and the mask, you feel claustrophobic, and the air in the tank on the back, and my hair's pulled up, my big hair in a ponytail, so I have a headache, and like that painting Scream, that's my face with my like that. And so my fear of sharks again came up again, and I just could kick myself, but the Spanx things were just too tight on my body, and I'm the only one outside, and everybody's waiting for me, and I'm so embarrassed. And then I thought, you can do this. And I did. I waddled over there in those fins, and I got into the 3 feet of the YMCA pool water. And I felt really good about myself, and I took my last breath of air, like air that's air, and I went into the water up to my waist, and there's the regulator thing, and I just couldn't do it. And everybody's happily on the bottom of the chlorine YMCA pool, and I couldn't do it. And every time I went under that water, my head would bob up like bobbing apples, and I couldn't do it. And it kept popping up with bubbles and just mortifying. I just couldn't breathe under the water. And it's really sad. If I can bring myself, well, the guy I was with, he couldn't scuba dive because he had problems pressurizing his ears, equalizing. And so I remember saying, oh, I am not going scuba diving in Hawaii without you. I'm going to stay right with you. So that was the good news, bad news. So I had 1 of 3 down. So now we're in Hawaii, and I'm ready to go on the zip lining. And it's another horrifying thing. And they say you soar across over the rainforest, and you feel like you're flying, and it's so beautiful. And I'm on a ramp, and they put like this leather canvas diaper thing around you, and it's so awkward, and there's pulleys and ropes and a helmet thing, and it's miserable. And again, I'm frozen like with a scuba diving thing. And the guy almost kicks me to get me off the ramp because everyone's waiting again. And I can't go, and I'm frozen. And he's finally, I can tell he's muttering and swearing in whatever language behind me. And so I jump, and it's like flying, but being like Tinkerbell on crack, and my arms and legs are spasming and jumping, and it's bobbing up and down instead of gliding, and I'm imagining being plummeting and like being speared in the middle shish kebab from some coconut tree, and it's horrible. And then I landed, and there's nothing like surviving something you're terrified about, and I did feel great, and my feet landed, and I start to strip off the thing, and the guy said, no, you have the deluxe Hawaiian package. You get to do 6 more of varying heights and length and faster. So now I know how terrified I get to be 6 more times. So finally, the helicopter ride, where he'd propose in front of the waterfall, and there'd probably be a rainbow, and it would be worth it. So I don't even like flying in a plane unless I can have Ativan and a good drink and my lavender essential oils, and there's like a runway thing, and it'll be over with and it's safe. And I'm in this helicopter, and Enya music's playing, if any of you even know who that is, and there's things over my head, a little claustrophobic, and there's no wall. There's just clear, round helicopter, whatever it's made of, and that things are on, and Enya's playing, and I'm waiting for him to speak to us, but there's no speaking because it flies straight up into the air. It just explodes high up, and my stomach's on the ground, and I don't even like being in an elevator when it's a little jumpy, and my stomach is on the ground, and I can't stop silently screaming, and I have the scream face again. And then he's tapping my leg and tapping, and I open my eyes, and there's water everywhere. And so I know we're submerged in the ocean. And I can't call anyone to say, I love you, or text anyone, and I don't think cell phones weren't invented then yet. But there was nothing, and Enya's playing, and that's like the last music while we're drowning under the water, and then he keeps tapping me, and then I open my eyes, but we're at the goddamn waterfall hovering, and all the water splashing, and there's no rainbow, and there's no proposal, and it's just a big waste of time. And I think if I make it back alive to the mainland where I'll stay, I will strangle the travel agent, and I will never listen to Enya ever again. So anyway, we did make it back, and miraculously he did propose, even though he found out I was basically not as courageous or daredevil-y as I made myself out to be. And he proposed right here in the Palisades Boardwalk, where the ocean was away, like where it's supposed to be away, like in a view, and that's where I like it. So he proposed looking away at the ocean, called a view, and I learned a lot, and I hope all of you can learn from this, is that don't jump into anything without thinking it through. Don't jump into things. Think it through so you don't have this torture, fear, unnecessary panic that I didn't need to go through. And I had a new sense of strength that I will never have to go through that kind of terror again. And then we had children, and then I can't even bring myself to say this, but somehow, like Twilight Zone reruns where it's the scariest one, but you keep watching it, and somehow what happened was they turned into teenagers. They did, and it was scarier than being in a Shark Tank with like an open door and full scuba gear on, and there's no getting around that, is there? There's no travel agent to get mad at. And every single day, almost every single day, Mom, I think I'm going to go backpacking alone in a third world country, and there hasn't been that many kidnappings there because I really need to be independent. It's like, no more, no. And then, so I'm thinking of getting a tattoo. Don't even tell me where or what. I don't want to know. So over and over. But you know what? It's still a whole lot of fun, and it is a big adventure, and I wouldn't do it any other way. And why I used to think I was a bit of a pretend courageous person. When you're a parent, you really are a very courageous person, and I can honestly look into the mirror now and say, you are one boss ass. Thank you very much.